I'm sorry. It's just two words, right? But man, they carry so much weight. We use them to mend friendships, to heal relationships, and to try and fix our own screw ups. But let's be honest, they're some of the hardest words to get right. So, what's actually going on in our brains when we try to apologize? Let's break down the psychology behind a real apology. I love how the source material for this explainer puts it. It says, every I am sorry is a tiny operation on the self. If it is clean and honest, the relationship survives the surgery stronger than before. Thinking about it like surgery, that's perfect. It's delicate, it's high stakes, and you've got to be precise. Which brings us to a question we've all asked ourselves at some point, right? If it's like surgery, why do our attempts to fix things so often feel like we're just making the wound even worse? Well, a huge part of the problem comes from a basic misunderstanding of what an apology is even for. We kind of think sorry is a magic spell. Yeah, we treat I'm sorry like it's some magic phrase, a verbal eraser that should just poof, make the problem disappear. But that's not its job. An apology is a repair attempt, and its success depends entirely on the tool you're using and, how you use it. So, why is it so hard to even start that repair job? A lot of it comes down to this deep survival mechanism we all have, ego defense. The second your brain thinks that admitting you're wrong could lead to rejection or humiliation, it goes into full-on protection mode. It's not always about arrogance. A lot of the time, it's just a deep-seated fear of getting hurt. And that fear, it's usually all tangled up with two incredibly powerful emotions that we mix up all the time: guilt and shame. And trust me, understanding the difference between these two is absolutely critical. Okay, pay attention, because this slide right here is probably the most important one in this entire explainer. Guilt says, I did something bad. See how it focuses on the action? Shame, on the other hand, says, I am bad. It attacks your entire self, your very identity. And here's where you see the fallout from that huge difference. Guilt, because it's about what you did, actually motivates you to go back and repair the damage. But shame? Oh, shame is paralyzing. It just makes you want to hide, to deny everything, or even to attack back, just to protect your fractured self-worth. Okay, so if we can navigate past our ego and that toxic shame, what does a good repair attempt actually look like? Well, the source gives us this brilliant, simple framework, the 4 pillars of repair. It's really just a 4-step process. First up, ownership, a clear statement of exactly what you did wrong. Second, recognition of impact. You have to acknowledge how your actions actually affected the other person. Third, a genuine expression of regret. And fourth, and this is the one everybody forgets, a commitment to change. You gotta say what you're gonna do differently next time. Without all 4, the whole thing just falls apart. And wow, you can see the difference immediately here, can't you? The hollow apology, sorry you feel that way, is a total cop-out. It puts the blame on their feelings. But a healthy apology, one built on those 4 pillars, it sounds like this. I'm sorry I was dismissive. I see that it hurt you, and I'll work on listening better. Boom. You see it? Ownership, impact, regret, and commitment, all right there in one sentence. When you start to see it this way, the whole act of apologizing completely transforms. It stops being about weakness, and it starts to look like what the source calls a superpower. So here's the big takeaway. Clean ownership isn't weakness. It's emotional muscle. It's having an identity that's strong enough to face reality without shattering. I love how the source puts it, that's real swagger. It's a sign of genuine, deep confidence. Which brings us right back to where we started. I'm sorry. Used lazily, yeah, it's just noise. But when you use it wisely, with an understanding of all the psychology that's happening under the surface, it truly is one of the most powerful sentences a human can speak. It doesn't just fix a mistake, it actually rebuilds trust and shows the world who you are and who you're trying to become.